Welcome back to Vanguardian TV. I'm your host, Mahfouz Al-Qadir. So, a bill to restrict ballot drop boxes require more ID for absentee voting and limit weekend early voting days passed the Georgia House on Monday amid protests that the proposal would make it harder for voters to participate in democracy. The House, which is Republican-led, by the way, Georgia State House, voted along on party lines, 97-72 on the sweeping election bill supported by the Republicans, who want to impose a new voting requirement after losing presidential and U.S. Senate seats in Georgia. So here you go. Just what I kind of reported last week. The Democrats are opposing legislation said to create obstacles for voting that would do more than reduce the turnout than increase election security. So they never had a problem with these drop boxes as long as the Republicans were winning all across the country. There was no issue with drop boxing, voter irregularities, as long as these states, these traditional red states, remained red. Now that they turned blue, examples Georgia and Arizona, there's an issue. And they don't like it because they don't like the turnout. Like I said, they don't even want you to vote on Sunday. If you're an absentee voter, if it's post-dated on Sunday, it'll just be thrown out, according to this new bill. And this was reported by Mark Nesi. I hope I'm pronouncing his name. Mark Nesi, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. So, and in Arizona, there's an issue too, where I believe they're just, voter restriction laws. Actually, in Arizona, what they're doing now, they're trying to I think they got a bill in place where they're trying to pass where they can actually overthrow a certification. If they feel that too many minorities voted or they feel that they don't like the results based on the demographic that's voting in these areas of obviously minorities and Latinos and people of color, if they deem these not to be up to par, they can actually throw out the people's vote. So this is where we're at. This is why it's so important to have the John Lewis Voting Act bill passed. And I don't know why they're dragging their feet, but now I know why they're dragging their feet. The Republicans are trying to filibuster. I say get rid of the filibuster. You have Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris, make the deciding vote. You have the majority. And this is where you have to go. This is the war within the guerrilla warfare politics that you have to do. You have to just force your hand. And so this is where we're at. But it is what it is, as they say. This just goes to show you, folks, they don't like the turnout. There was never a problem before, as long as you were a white Anglo-Saxon or fair skin and live in a certain zip code, you're fine. But as soon as you go across the other side of the tracks and voter turnout is just record pace, now there's an issue with the voter turnout. Now you have to prove that you're the person that's voting. You have to have your voter ID. So they're restricting everything. And all this happened under the Obama's presidency. All of this happened because of the large turnout there, the record-setting turnout that was at the Obama election process and his reelection. And so now they've been trying to, for years and decades, these drop boxes have never been a problem for folks. And now the absentee voting has never been a problem up until this past election. So this is the war and the battle that we constantly got to fight in this country as far as voting rights and inclusion in the voting, and just like anyone else in any other county or district. But there's an issue now when it goes to inner cities, African-American neighborhoods, just like they're going to do in Detroit, They were trying to throw out the election. So all of these targeted black areas that the Republicans try to target and try to say there's voter fraud, which hasn't been any proof that it was. But now, all of a sudden, it's an issue because they don't like the results, because they lost control, because Georgia has turned blue this past election. They got two Democratic senators, which they don't like at all. And also the same thing with Arizona. They're actually trying to just, flush the ratification voting certification down the toilet. And they're going to have a committee or whoever decides, well, we don't like the results of that. So what we're going to do is throw that out, and we're going to redo it again to feel that, as far as what our liking is going to be. So this is just voter suppression 101, and they're trying to get away with it. They're going to make laws to make it easier for them to get away with it. And they've been getting away with it for a long time. And this is why the John Lewis Voting Act reform bill is so important. And Chuck Schumer really needs to get on his job as a leader in the Senate and bring these bills to the forefront and stop all this distraction. Now they have another distraction with the Chris Wray, who's going to be testifying on the committee of Congress on the Hill regarding the handling or the findings of the terrorists, the homegrown terrorists who attacked the Capitol. So they should be met, and if they're convicted, all of them, I think it's over 300 people. If they're convicted, each and every one of them should face the full brunt of justice under the law, that they can get time. I want them to really do some hard time. I want them to have the full brunt of what the law allows, and so it can reverberate through that community, through the white supremacist community. You try this again, and this is what's going to happen to you. You're not going to see. Give these people football numbers. I want football numbers on these people, as much as the law allow. I want football numbers on these people. I want fines, heavy penalties. I want whoever was complicit with them. If they find out that any one of these Congress members, these MAGA party or Republican members, were complicit in helping them with plans and this, that, and the other, this, that, and the third, I want them prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, because it bothers me. It's my city, my capital, and you desecrate it like that. So I want you to go to jail. I want you to spend a lot of time in jail. I want you to think about what you actually did. I want you to be at your lowest moment and think about what you did. Okay? And your relatives, I want them to think about it too. I want your neighbors to think about it. I want you prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And if you're found convicted, I want you to spend the maximum penalty that's under the law that they can, inflict on you. So that's where I'm at with that. So that's just a little bit. And I'm gonna go back and try to watch this Chris Wray, his hearing, and to see what they knew. And main question, I hope someone would ask him, well, what was you doing at the moment the Capitol was being sieged? Was you just watching TV? Did you have a plan to intervene? I'd like to know that one, see what he had to say. Okay, so thank you for this Vanguardian Sports Break, news sports break, and I'm sorry, not the sports break, but I got so much stuff going on. Vanguardian News Break, and we will check back with you soon. Take care.